Mr. Wigand. Today we're going to look at solving multi-step equation problems. The first kind of problem we're going to look at is a problem where we need to combine like terms and then solve. So just like when we combined like terms earlier, we're going to look for terms that have identical variable parts. So if I look here, I have a 6x and I have a negative 2x. They both have an x to the first power, so they're identical variable terms. I have a 16 and a negative 7. Hey guys, it's Mr. Wigand. Today we're going to look at solving multi-step equation problems. The first kind of problem we're going to look at is a problem where we need to combine like terms and then solve. So just like when we did combining like terms before, we're looking for identical variable parts in our terms. That's how we know if they're like terms. So we have a 6x and a negative 2x. They both have x to the first power, so they're identical variable parts. We also have a 16 and a negative 7. They're just numbers without variables, so they would be considered like terms as well. We're going to add our like terms together because we have all addition. So 6x plus negative 2x, positive 4x, plus 16 plus negative 7, 9, equals negative 19. All right, now we have a simple two-step equation. We're going to subtract 9 both sides because we're going to do inverse operations just like we learned. They cancel. I bring down my 4x, bring down my equal sign. Negative 19 minus 9. Now I'm using my integer rules. Negative 28. Divided side by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1x. Negative 28 divided by 4, negative 7. And that's my solution, negative 7. Okay, so we're going to combine like terms, and then we're going to solve equations using inverse operations. All right, next kind of problem. We're going to use the distributive property and then solve. So just like when we learned distributive property, we have to distribute the 2 to everything inside the parentheses. When we distribute, that means we're multiplying. So 2 times 4x, 8x. Minus 2 times 5, 10, equals negative 42. And just like in the last problem, once we did that initial combining like terms, then we had a two-step equation. Same thing here. Once we distribute, we have a simple two-step equation. So inverse operations. We have a minus 10 here. We'll do plus 10 on both sides. They will cancel. Bring down my 8x. Bring down my equal sign. Negative 42 plus 10, negative 32. And this is why being really strong on your integers is important here. All right, we're going to divide by 8 on both sides, inverse operations. 8 divided by 8 is 1. Negative 32 divided by positive 8, negative 4. Circle. Okay, so I distributed, then it was a two-step equation. I solved that. All right, the last kind of problem we're going to look at is a problem where we have variables on both sides of the equation. I have a 3x here, and I have a 7x here. So I need all the variables on one side of the equation by themselves. To do that, I pick one of these terms, either 3x or 7x, and I subtract them from both sides. Now I'm going to choose the smaller one. So all right, the next kind of problem we're going to look at is solving equations with variables on both sides of the equation. So I have a 3x here, equal sign, and a 7x here. So I have variables on both sides, on the left and right. The way we want to go about solving this is to get all the variables on one side. I'm going to do that by subtracting either the 3x or the 7x on both sides. I'm going to choose to subtract the 3x because when you subtract the smaller of the two terms, you usually end up with less negative signs. So less negative signs, less integer rules to worry about. Right, so that cancels. Don't forget, minus 8 is the same as plus negative 8, so that's a negative 8 there. 7 minus 3x is a 4x. And then we have minus 24. And then just like in the previous two problems, Once I do that initial thing, I now have a two-step equation. Minus 24, inverse operations, I'm going to add 24 to both sides. These cancel, 4x. Negative 8 plus 24 is positive 16. Divide each side by 4. Cancel. X equals 4. Circle. And that is my solution. So when you have variables on both sides of the equation, you want to choose one of the terms that have the variable, subtract them from both sides. I like to choose the smaller. All right, good luck, guys.